Welcome to Leo for Leos, guys. This is a channel featuring intuitive tarot readings on YouTube dedicated only to the general reading for the astrological sign of Leos, sun, moon, and rising. Cross watchers are always welcome. These readings can be applied to any area of your life, especially career and sometimes health and romance. I too am a Leo. That's why the channel is called Leo for Leos. And so this reading is going to be for both of us. All right, now let me start by shuffling my cards here. Okay, so we're going to start off with an overview of the month, and I'm really asking my guides to give me solution cards for us. Things will come up unexpectedly, we all know that, but it would be nice, really nice to know how to handle things, you know, while they're happening, or ahead of time, to know what headspace we need to be in, or, you know, what should we be looking out for in the month of June, right? We want to be ahead of the game. That's why we are looking, you know. So let's see, what's the first card that comes up in the reading here? What's in store for Leos in the month of June 2019? All right, so we've got the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is kind of an interesting card because this is a card of love and happiness and celebrations and big laughter with friends and getting together with people, socializing with people. And that's something that, you know, maybe some Leos, now I won't say all of us, but some Leos really would love our lives to be full of this kind of celebratory happiness. I know I would love to enjoy this, right? You know, but you probably can't imagine it. But this really stands for something that we want, as well as something we're trying to reach for. It's sort of the ultimate harmony of, and the ultimate match of what you envision your life to be. And this sort of coalescing of friends and family and celebration is, it's a very, very beautiful desire. It's a beautiful want, and it's a beautiful thing. If you have this in your life, you are truly blessed. Not just work, but work in harmony with the other factors of your life, so you can have some enjoyment, some social engagement. You know, they say that for a lot of people who live very long, social engagement in their lives has been a very important part of it. Like looking forward to seeing people and looking forward to doing things with family and friends. It's the key to longevity. And I don't know about you, but when I see other Leos, we seem to have fun, whatever it is that we do. And we seem to know how to enjoy the company of our friends and our family, you know, when we have good people around us. So I think that's the focus for June, is not just having that in your life, but also manifesting it for people who don't have it in their lives. And so having it and manifesting it, it's kind of an interesting place to be. And this is also standing, it's not just for friends and family, this is also for really great working relationships where there's a group of people, possibly a group of 3 or more, that are just getting along so well at starting a business or doing a particular department of a job, and it's so good to have that working relationship that's harmonious, and there's a lot of laughing while you're working and a lot of like playing around, but it's also you're getting the job done, you're doing excellent work here. So that's another piece to this card, and I don't know about you, but I just love when that happens, when I can enjoy working and I'm around other people who work in tandem with me, laughing and in a happy way. You've accomplished something that you've been trying to do. And there's a feeling of celebration, and you might not always get a chance to celebrate with friends. We're hoping by this card that you can celebrate with some friends, but it's not going to be the entire month. It's not going to be about partying. It's going to be about like acknowledging that a new phase of life is happening. And we've been talking about this new phase of life for like, I would say since March. And just really too, like feeling like there's a sense of change that is going to happen. Being free to create the way you so fit to create, without having someone saying you must do X, Y, and Z within, you've got to color within the lines. There's a sense of freedom, and so that sense of freedom is giving you more creativity. And so far, so good. We're loving this. Let's see, what's the next card up for Leos? What should we be looking forward to? All right, 9 of Cups. That is self-satisfaction, and it may be that something has happened, or just all of the events of May and all of the events of April and May culminating to this place where you're kind of feeling like, you're taking a sigh of relief, and you're kind of happy that you have gotten out of a previous situation. If you had to escape a situation, actually being on the other side of harm and kind of being free in a way. So there's a sense of self-satisfaction that you have done all the work that you needed to do in order to get to where you are. And if you notice, he is kind of smug. He's got his hands folded, and he's kind of sitting on a chair. And this is a chair that you probably can't sit in for long. So the situation is of feeling self-satisfied is definitely going to be a short-term one. It's just to acknowledge all that you've been through in the last few months and even years. And it's really urging you to kind of live in the moment, if only for a short time, and enjoy what you have some gratitude for what you have, and actually look around and see what your gains are. What have you gained in the last 3 months that you should pat yourself on the back for? Like, think about it and actually try to give yourself some credit for what you've been able to do. Now, if you're in a situation where you haven't changed, things haven't changed, and you're very unhappy about them, this is really about looking about you and seeing any places or any ways that any blessings that you may not recognize, any things that you may not be seeing, any opportunities that you may not be seeing. This is asking you, have you taken advantage of everything that you could to change your situation? And it also talks about making a wish and the wish being granted. I'm getting the sense that it would be really good for you if this is something that you're going through or you're waiting for something to come through. Is in the meantime, definitely look around you and see if there are other things that are in your space that you can utilize to the best of your ability to improve your life and your situation. Maybe you don't see them. Maybe you don't see them. Now, what is next for Leos this month? Let's see what else. The next card up is the Eight of Wands. Okay, so there's a lot of activity happening here, a lot of things happening fast. They are opportunities. They are flying. They're going to be flying at you this month. And somehow you have to take advantage of these opportunities by being aware, being ready, okay, and being optimistic. Because if you are, let's say you're not being optimistic enough to see these opportunities, they will just whiz right by you and you will miss them. And these are things that are part of your wish cycle. These are some of the things that you've been wishing for, another step in the direction of your wish. But if you don't notice those opportunities, you will not get your wish. So we're talking about wish granting from the Nine of Cups, and it requires that you pay attention. It's really interesting because I said that in the last card. Pay attention and look out for opportunities because they are headed your way really fast. You'll have to make fast decisions. You can't mull over this. You can't ask a whole bunch of people, what do you think? What do you think? It's not going to be any time. You're going to have to be ready to take your future. This is now something you have to physically take. So let's go on and let's see what is this. Oh, this is a beautiful story that's happening here. Okay, so next card up is the Knight of Cups. All right. The Knight of Cups is creative and romantic, is a really big thing there. Is this a person? I don't feel as if it is. I feel as if this is an emotional state here. And this is you, and this is your cup to the world as an offering. And what is this? This is something that you want to do for the world, to change the world for the better. And maybe it's not the world, but your community. Maybe it's not your community. Maybe it's your family. But you want to offer something to someone else. You want to give. And you want your potential as, for who you are to be shown and seen. You want people to see this this lovely side of you, this loving side of you. You want people to see how creative you are and how inspiring you are. I think with these actions coming at you, you'll get your opportunity to show exactly how good you are. And if you notice, the thing about the Knight of Cups, the background is kind of a barren wasteland, a very dry place, very little green can be seen. And so it's kind of like seeing an oasis in the middle of the desert. It's something that a lot of people don't expect. And it's not that they don't expect it from you, they just don't expect the love and affection, the inspiration, the product that you want to give, the good service that you want to give. People don't expect it, but it's something that they are going to love and enjoy. It's something that gives everyone a good feeling. Now let's move on. What is our next card that we're going to deal with here? What's the next card? It is Ace of Wands. So we've gone from the barren land of the Knight of Cups to a very fruitful land. A very fruitful, green, lush land with a castle in the background. And that's the transformation. The Ace of Wands really talks about new beginnings. And it could come in the form of a great idea that you never thought of before, or a new formula for something. Like, oh, this is the new formula that's going to give me the success that I want, or a new plan to escape somewhere, like escape a situation that you've been trying to get out of. It's a gift from the unknown. It's like a download from the cosmos. It's the hand of God kind of really giving you this gift of a great epiphany that can help you. I mean, you may be getting multiple ideas, and with the action of the wands, the Eight of Wands, you may be getting 8 great ideas. And it's because of this Knight of Cups, this romantic state that you're in, this romantic idea that you have of the world that you want to live in, the way you want people to treat you, the way you want to be treated. It's romantic and it's idealistic, but it's inspiring you in a way that's giving you ideas. And you're feeling the fantasy of what that would be like. And you're translating it to the rest of the world that needs, so very desperately to get an idea of what it is that you're thinking of. So you may get a lot of ideas, but there may be one of those ideas that's so beyond brilliant that it may have a reach so far into the future, right? If you notice, the background really seems like a very vast landscape. A very vast landscape. And that's how far the reach is going to be. Very far out there into the future, in a good way. A very good way. Now let's see what's next. What's the next card coming up for Leos? This is actually really good. I'm really liking it so far. I'm really liking the story. Okay, the next card up is the Four of Pentacles. So this card is very interesting to me, because I could see so many different options in this particular card. So initially there is the need to save money and hold on to money. There's that. But then there may be also a need to safeguard your idea, to keep it safe. Make sure no one's getting a claim on it before you get to use it, right? Maybe even secretively keeping it under wraps until you can take action on it. There's also the possibility, the part that's really getting to me or speaking to me right now is someone who is stuck, not stuck, but more like sticking to their guns, right? They're not willing to give in to a substitution. It has to be a certain way. It has to be done a certain way. It has to have certain things in place. This could be based on the past. And the reason why I say that is that there's a city in the background. And each time I see this card, it looks different. It means something different. And in this case, in the past, there's been a lot of experience. And that city landscape in the background really stands for all the different experiences and the pains that have taught you lessons about certain things that you want and certain things you don't want in your life. And now there's a place where you're kind of saying, this is the way I want it, and I don't want it the other way. This is how things have to be. It's like laying down the rules and sticking to it, but to a fault, almost to a fault. But I feel like this is something that might need to occur just to set up the future. So your future interactions, your future relationships, like new relationships, like, hey, I do want to meet new people and I do want to date, but I demand that this person respect who I am. I demand that they treat my children with respect. I demand certain things. There's certain things you're not willing to give in and compromise about. There's no compromising here. And there's a lot of protection too. There's protection and security. You're trying to make sure that this next transition in life is safe. The things and the people that you love and hold dear to you, very much, very dear to you, are all safe. It's about protection at this point. That's what I'm feeling with this card. So, what's next for Leo? Let's keep looking here. What's the next card? Ooh, the Chariot. Okay, so this works in perfectly with the Four of Pentacles. With the Chariot, there's a lot of energy, but this is energy that is about willpower. You're standing your ground with the Four of Pentacles. And you're doing even more so with the Chariot, because if you notice the two sphinxes down at the bottom, they're actually going in different directions. And so they present sort of a challenge to steer in the direction that you want to go in. So I think these two cards really work in tandem with each other to tell the story of how much you're going to really need to be firm and strong with the things that you desire and the way you want to see your future play out. And really, take this as sort of a solution to anything that's happening around you. And you know that your willpower is going to get you through any challenges that you're going to face in your future. You have these limitations that are not only are they good limitations, they kind of make it so that way you're actually going to benefit yourself and these whoever it is that you're going to be helping. And we did talk about the act of offering up something to the world with the Knight of Cups. That works, that really plays here, because whatever limitations you are creating, it's based upon trying to offer this utopia to the world, this helping hand to the world. Okay, so let's move on and let's see what else is in store for Leo. What's the next card up? And we have the Star card. It's sort of the green light in the distance, the twinkling star in the in the night, the star that leads you home. It's a wish, right? It's a wish fulfilled. If you look at the woman in the actual card, I've given her an outfit so that way she is not in her true form, but in the actual card she's naked, and there's a freedom of emotional freedom and inhibition that she has. And so she's free to dream as big and as wide as she wants, up to the stars. Dream to the stars. So this is you dreaming. And all of these cards are really all about your psychological state. So this is really about like having one foot in the dream world and one foot on reality, and somewhere in between is actually how you can make this entire dream a reality. So we talked about the brilliant ideas that will be coming from the Ace of Wands, right? So you have those wonderful ideas happening. We have these limitations that you're putting now to craft the perfect life, the perfect career, the perfect relationship. And then you have the beauty of the wish, like, I wish it were this way, I wish it were that way. But not only that, the power to actually make it a reality. So your next card up, let's see, is, ooh, this is interesting. The next card up is Eight of Cups. Based on the other cards, this is really kind of like the very literal example of what's happening here. And that's basically you actually walking away from this thing. You've made the decision a long time ago that the present situation is not really helping you with what it is that you want to do, and you're actually putting things into action. Remember the Nine of Cups. You're feeling good about this decision of walking away. You're feeling proud. You're feeling like self-accomplished. Yes, I did that. Even though things look like they were perfect to other people, or it didn't seem like it was a big deal, to you it was so important to get this right, and it wasn't the right situation, and so you had to walk away. And a lot of people may even have these statements like, how could you walk away from that? Why did you walk away from that? And you may not even have an explanation for them. But at the end of the day, you've got to be yourself. You've got to be honest. It's very important to get this internal happiness completely down right. And that's why there's such a rigidness with the Four of Pentacles and the Chariot coming in with the Will. Like, no longer is a situation that is not suitable for you going to be okay. This is not an okay situation for you. There's something missing. If you notice with the cups, they're all lined up almost perfectly, except for it looks like there's one cup missing, and that's the missing quotient. There are certain things now that you're tweaking. You're tweaking your existence, your living situations, your everything. You're examining everything. You've been doing that since really November, and getting more and more and more specific. And you know, this card also talks about really exploring that, exploring what happiness really means to you. I love that for us. I mean, I love that for anybody, to be honest. All right. So the next card coming up is the King of Pentacles. All right. Is really, in this particular case, based on the other cards, really about looking at the progress of everything that you've been through and really feeling a bit of pride for what you've gone through. We're going back to the Nine of Cups, and there's a lot of the same emotional states here, where you're looking upon like the struggles that you've had in the past, all the hard work, and just realizing how far you've come, taking note of it. It may be a day of just like recognizing your success, and maybe even saying, maybe even celebrating, or celebrating a big win. And there's also the possibility for some of you that you could be meeting the King of Pentacles, a person who is good with business, who can give you some advice in these areas, who's good at, maybe it's not even a business, but even life advice. They're very solid. And so when you go to them and ask them for advice, it's very good advice that can help you with the situations that you're in. An actual person who is established, someone who is very well known in the community for being successful, either with a successful marriage or successful business. Usually it talks about, when we deal with pentacles, it talks about business, but it could also be a relationship, like a marriage that is prosperous and wealthy. This person could also, I usually never talk about signs, but I'm getting a very strong Taurus energy in this particular card. There's a lot of Taurus energy that I'm picking up in this card. And Taurus, they can be very larger than life, and they can also be very strong-willed and strong-minded, stand their ground. And we've already talked about standing your ground as far as the Four of Pentacles and the Chariot. So there's a possibility meeting the King of Pentacles, and also being the King of Pentacles, being that person who is standing for what they believe in, who is methodical about their success. Because if you notice how many luxuries are around him, and how much growth is around him, so many plants are around him, it's about someone who can grow things. And if you notice, he has a boot of armor, meaning that even though he is sitting on a throne, he can get up at any moment and kick your butt. He's a warrior underneath the garbs of a king. Now the next card is the Lovers. We've come to a place where there's been a lot of temptation and a lot of passion. I'm feeling like the passions that you've had to change your life, to change things, to make it right. And actually, when I look at this, it's about finding the truth of who you are, discovering who you are as a human being, what you stand for, what you represent, what you want to do in the world. And so we have it also too revealed in the Knight of Cups. You wanting to offer the world something. You want to, maybe it's your point of view. Maybe you want to offer the world your point of view. Maybe some lessons learned that you want to share with other people. And now there are restrictions. There is the freedom, but you have the restriction of knowing the path. There's a path now that's being created toward your passion. This is a harmony in who you are as a person. You know, this could also be a part of the harmony you have with the world around you and the people in your life, like actually telling them what you're all about, what your rules for interacting is all about. Like, it's not okay to talk down to me, or it's not okay to treat me like I am your sidekick. It's creating a new harmony with people and actually having it work. Because now you're strong, you're standing for what you believe in, you have a specific path you're going down, and no one's going to tread on that. Right? You've got the Chariot to guide you, a strong will to go in one direction of life. Leo, in June, you're going to be loving life, okay? Oh my God, how many cards do we have proving this? Yeah, there's a lot of love in your heart. There's a lot of love. It's huge. You want to share it. You want to share your love with the world. But I feel like that's when you're going to actually find the people who are totally matched for you, is when you lay down those rules. Then the people who are not for you, they're going to go, and bye-bye. You didn't need them anyway. The Eight of Cups, you have to let it go. You have to walk away from them. And you'll be happier in the long run from making the hard choices. Like standing your ground is actually going to be successful. Standing your ground. Let's move to the next card, and this is going to be the last card. The next card up is the King of Swords. Okay. Whatever is going on with you, you are okay, so we're talking about strength here. This is about power. This is about decisiveness, making very harsh and intense decisions that are, you don't take that long to make them. But it's very, very rational. It's based a lot on intuition as well. Common sense. And you're not afraid to go and look at some statistics to check to see if you're making the right decisions. I always feel like swords are decisions. Like they remind me of decisions that are harsh, that sometimes cut and people get hurt. So, I mean, some people are going to get hurt in this. I talked about that last month, that some decisions you make may hurt people. And that's, you can't win it all. As long as you don't, like, intentionally go out to hurt someone. Just try not to do that. Another thing too, this is also about dotting those I's and crossing the T's, making sure that things are correct in a sort of a minute level. It's about perfecting, cutting things when, if necessary, like even like editing a film. It's really strange, right? It's like using scissors to cut something, maybe even cutting hair. It's just making something just right. And there's a lot of clarity here. I mean, if you notice, the king's garbs are pretty simple. They're not complicated. They're not like the King of Pentacles, who's got like everything surrounding him. He's wearing something very simple. It's to the point. And this is the clarity that is part of the journey in June. Look, you know what, Leos, enjoy June. It's a short life, no matter how old you live until, and you only get one chance to do it. Okay? I'm going to tell you guys a little story. The reason why I read is because about a year ago, a friend of mine who was also a Leo decided to take her life, and it was one of the worst things I could imagine her doing. And I tried to imagine what she was going through at the time, because I too was going through something in that same exact time. And it would have been really nice for her to hear that someone cared. And I felt like it would be so cool if I could do readings and other people could hear some words of encouragement through their trials and tribulations, or just the average day-to-day grind. Sometimes it's nice to hear some good news or to hear some encouraging words. So I really hope that this reading really helped you guys out there. And thanks for watching. Many, many blessings to you, my awesome Leos. Remember, this channel is dedicated to you and to you alone.